Hi guys, my name is Toyo and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're just meeting me for the first time, I usually do vlogs, study videos about Malta, and you're very welcome. Please do well to subscribe, like and share this video if it's valuable to you. The reason why I'm actually making this video is because a few people messaged me to ask for tips that they could use while preparing to come to Malta, and I was like, you know what, why not just make a video? So the first tip I'm going to give you, by the way, I'm not a student, but I know a lot of people who are students and I talk with a lot of students as well. So the first tip I'm going to share is to get your paperwork right. And this video is actually for people that have already gotten their visas and are maybe in the process or have already gotten their tickets and are getting ready to actually fly into Malta. So when I say get your paperwork right, what I mean is whatever documents that you think would be required of you, you need to carry them along with you, or at least original copies. Even flying into Malta in the first place, at the passport control, you're going to be asked to bring out some things or even explain why you're here. You're going to need a copies even of your admission letter, your visa, whatever documentations that you're going to give to your school as well. If you have a letter of intention, any kind of document that you think that would be useful for you, so that it's not when you get to the immigrations and then you're now panicking, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I planned to photocopy when I get into Malta. No, have those documents with you. Like, paper is very light. And of course, I'm not saying to print like 10 copies or even 5 copies, but have at least 2 copies of each document, with you. And another reason why I'm saying this is because when you pass the immigration and then you get into Malta and you're trying to settle down, there's some things for your admission, like in school, you would be asked to submit some things, maybe your transcript if you transferred, your previous level certificate, or all those things like your grades, things like that. You will be asked to probably bring them. So it's very important to have all those things with you. I always advise just print them from your home country before getting into Malta, because when you get into Malta, you're going to have other things that you need to sort out. Some things you have to start sorting out immediately. So just reduce your stress. If you already have all these details, go ahead and get them printed so that when you get to Malta, it's not an issue. Another thing you should also have with you is passport size photos. So your passport photographs, you need to find out the one that is suitable for Europe, the one that is suitable for Malta, and print those out, right? Have at least 3 to 4 copies, because there are some instances where you're going to have to submit your passport photograph. That's not the time, or at the very moment, it's not the time where you're going to start, oh, I want to go and print, or let me go and print, that kind of thing. Just always have them with you. Number 2 tip I'm going to give you is sort out your finances. Sort out your finances. In fact, this is even maybe one of the most important tips, and I always say it, like we always mention it in our live videos about school and even in our other videos about school, to always sort out your finances. You're coming into a new country. There are things that you're going to use money for. Please don't come to Malta unprepared. Don't come to Malta unless you're prepared to sort out these things. Your accommodation, and when I say your accommodation, I mean the place you're even going to stay from the day you land in Malta, except you've already made preparations for that. That is, you probably paid a hostel, you already paid an Airbnb, or you have a family or friend that you intend to stay with. If you're just on your own and you don't really have like support system at the moment, trust me, you need to sort these things out. So figure yourself out while you're in your home country. You're going to spend money on that, which would probably last a few days, maybe a week or 5 days for your accommodation, pending the time you actually find your long-term accommodation. You need to have finances for your accommodation. That is the one that you're going to stay for, let's say 1 year, 6 months, that kind of thing. And when you're paying for that, you're going to drop the actual rent, you're going to drop a deposit, you're also going to pay an agency fee. All those things cost money. In one of my videos, I mentioned the different prices for accommodations in Malta, and I'm very sure that by now those prices would have gone up, but it is still very possible to find affordable accommodations in Malta. Apart from accommodation, you have your health insurance, health screening, your residency card as well. These things cost money. You're going to need to pay for these things. And when you just land into Malta, that is not the time for you to delay the processing of your residence card and other documentations. You need to have the finances to get these things ready. you're also going to be feeding, right? I don't think I should be reminding you about food or money for food. Now, when I say money, I know, for example, people coming from Nigeria, I don't know if it is the best thing to solely rely on an ATM card because sometimes they don't work. It's always better to come with cash. You just have to come with cash because you're going to be paying out of pocket for all these things. So don't depend solely on your card. Now, another thing under finances is find a bank and open an account immediately. So this is going to make life a lot easier. I also believe that for your residence card, you need to submit a bank account or an ATM card or something like that you're going to be using while you are here. Now, I don't know about opening an actual bank account like HSBC and the rest of them, but Revolut and Wise are very useful for this. So the very day you get into Malta, you can actually open your bank account if you have a number already, and of course you have your document, your passport, they will also ask for a copy of your visa or the kind of stay that you have. And as long as you have these things and then you just confirm your identity, that's all. Your bank account is open. And Revolut, you can use it to pay. You can add your card to your phone. You can also order an ATM card. These have made life a lot easier. It's always better to have a bank account. So in case you want to receive money from abroad or receive money from home or receive money from somewhere, from someone, or even send money. So there are a lot of stores as well. If you don't have an ATM card, you can always transfer the money to them if you don't have cash. So just make sure that you have your bank account. A bank account is very important. All right, so number 3 is pack smartly. Malta is an island and Malta gets cold and warm. It gets very warm and it does get very cold as well in Malta. So it depends on the season you are coming. Do your research, check the weather for the period that you're going to land in Malta and know what season it is. If it's going to be cold, you don't necessarily have to wait till you get here before you get a solid jacket. Get a jacket or get jackets to protect you from the cold from your home country. But I'm also going to advise for you not to overpack. And the reason why I advise not to overpack is because there are lots of stores here that sell affordable clothing. But as a student who is just trying to settle down in Malta, especially your first couple of weeks or even months, it's actually advisable to get all the things that you need from home so that you don't have to be thinking about all those things. But then again, don't overpack. Like don't pack too many jackets. Just pack like the essential things because trends change. I mean, your fashion sense might also change. You might want to get new stuff, and then the old stuff that you bought, if there were a lot, would just be there useless. So pack the essential things that you need for the time being. Okay, and this one is for my African brothers and sisters. So of course, you might also want to pack some African food stuff, right? Your pepper, I'm talking as a Nigerian now. Your pepper, your crayfish, your dry fish, all those kind of things. Yeah, you might want to bring some of these from home. Even your African hair products, right? Your skincare as well. You might want to bring some of these things from home. But bear in mind that we have multiple African stores in Malta. So under normal circumstances, you would always find your African food stuff, right? You'll find your fish, you'll find your beef, your pomo, your shaki. All those things, you'll find them here. Scent leaf, even though some of these things are frozen, but yeah, you'll find the majority of the things that you would really like to eat, right? Plantains, yams, spinach, all those things, they have them here. Pepper, crayfish, they also have them here. There are lots of African stores around. So, but just like I said, because you're just settling, you might not just want to be going to the market to spend money like that. So if you're able to get them from your home country, especially if they're going to be more affordable, then you can absolutely go ahead and get that. But like I said, don't overpack. All right, so number 4 is for you to learn the basics about Malta. And I'm saying this because it's going to be very helpful. It's not only helpful when you have your interview at the VFS office. That's not the only time that it's important. Just know the basics about Malta. Know the language they speak or the languages they speak. Know how their culture is. Know the kind of holidays they have. Check their calendar. Understand the bus system. Understand their transportation system. Know the countries that are next to Malta. The countries that are close to Malta. Just have basic knowledge on these things. So you're not just stepping into Malta like an absolute newbie. I remember when my husband and I were moving to Malta, a few months before, we were almost obsessed. Almost obsessed. Everything that we were watching was based on Malta. We were watching videos on the history of Malta. We were watching street walk videos. We were watching vlogs. We were reaching out to people. And to be honest, by the time we already came into Malta and we were passing some places, we'll be like, oh yes, this is what we watched the other day. This is what we watched the other day, because we were kind of already into the system even before we got here. So we already knew a lot of things, right? I really wonder when I meet students especially, and they're almost clueless about things that are going on in Malta. They're asking questions like, are there trains in Malta? Like, how? Did you not do your research? Just do your research. Do your research about Malta. Know enough. But like I always say, you need people, you need information, right? So you always make friends and mingle and get other information, but at the beginning, like, don't just be clueless. All right, so the next one is for you to stay connected. Now what I mean by that is get your SIM card immediately. Don't wait. Like, don't be saying, oh, I'm sorry, I need Wi-Fi. Nothing wrong with needing Wi-Fi, but you should have a SIM card that is functional. Like, people should not want to reach out to you, people that you meet in Malta, because you're going to be signing up for things. You're going to register in school. What if they want to reach out to you? You say, oh, sorry, they're not going to be reaching out to you on WhatsApp. You need to have your mobile number. So get connected with that. The networks that we have here in Malta, Melita, Go, and Epic. So you pick the one, do your research, find out the one that has the best offer. Data is not so expensive here. So register with one, pick your network and just have a SIM card. Honestly, this having a SIM card I don't know why it's personal to me, because I don't understand how you're living in Malta as a student, or even if you're not a student, just as a person, and the number that is active is your Nigerian number or is another country's number. So if people don't have that number, or if you're not connected to the Wi-Fi, people are not going to be able to reach you. If you're outside, how do you move around? How do you don't have internet, you're asking everybody for internet? No, it shouldn't be like that. Like, get your number immediately you get into a new country, especially if it's a country that you're going to be staying long term. You're here to school, you can't be relying on your old number. Do it immediately. Speaking of connecting and all that, I also advise for you to join groups. Join Facebook groups, join WhatsApp groups, especially Facebook groups anyways. You're going to find a lot of groups, students in Malta, experts in Malta, a lot of groups where you can join and find valuable information and also ask questions, On Facebook as well is most likely where you're going to find your apartment on Facebook Marketplace. Join these groups so that you're able to ask proper questions. Also, on getting connected, get your bus card. Malta Public Transport operates the buses and the ferries. You need to have your card. Transportation is mostly free in Malta, except you're using some different kind of buses, which will charge you about €1 or about 150 euros. Transportation to most places is free. So you need to have your bus card. You're going to have to submit a picture and some other details, and then it will be mailed to you. As a student, you're not about to start spending money on both every day you have to go to school or every day you have to go somewhere. Get your card so that your mobility is settled to a good extent. So last but not the least is for you to adjust your mindset and be patient. Be patient. You're coming from another country entirely with a different culture, different people, different environment. Your mindset has to change to a good extent, right? So that you can adapt properly into the society. There's some things that you do in your country that might not be allowed here. There's some things that are allowed here and are not allowed in your country. So just like when I said to learn the basics of Malta, you have to, adjust your mindset to accommodate these changes. Now, I say be patient or carry your patience, because some things are going to take time. One of the things I know will take time is your residence card as a student. Now it takes longer than ever. It takes longer than ever to get your residence card. You're going to have to submit some certain documents. You're going to have to prepare some things. And just because of the number of people applying, or crowd, or whatever it is, it takes a few months to get your card. Be prepared to wait a bit longer for your residence card in case you want to travel, in case you want to apply for a job as well. So that's why I said come with enough money to sustain yourself for the first couple of months. All right, guys, I think I've said what needs to be said. However, please, if you're watching this video and you're a student in Malta and you have experienced some things, or you have some tips to share with people that are intending to come to Malta or are preparing to come to Malta, please leave the tips in the comment section so that other people can learn from your experience as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.